Now, what has Guinness, the company, got to do with innovation? Let me explain. Now, a lot of people know that marketers are always talking about innovating for their clients and doing X, Y, Z for their clients, thinking outside the box. But a lot of the time, let's be honest, a lot of marketers are literally copy and pasting old ideas. That is all they're doing. They're not actually innovating or thinking differently at all. They're just going for the easy package of, let's do this because it's always worked. Let's look to the company Guinness for how to actually increase your sales and increase your brand awareness, because they was one of the first to actually reach that high level of thought thinking. Now, in 1954, the company Guinness actually commissioned two brothers to go out and do the fact finding on every single world record that is out there and then compile that into a book. When they found out the information, they then published 1,000 books to be given out for free in Ireland and England. So literally every pub in Ireland and England had a book for free. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, where's the logic behind that? How is that going to help their sales and their branding? But let me explain. Now, Guinness understood their customers. They understood that while somebody is in the pub, they like to have discussions on different topics. And by giving them this information, which is the Guinness Book of World Records, they're giving them loads of topics to discuss. And guess what happens? The more someone talks about a topic, the longer they stay in the pub. So that means it's bringing people together and they're curating content that's already out there in the world. They're literally becoming the guide to helping people find this content in an age where there was no internet. They're helping people to have something to discuss, which keeps them in the pub longer, which makes them buy more beer. So as a whole, it increased sales dramatically. Like, Guinness saw a massive increase in sales within this period. But not only that, they was keeping people within the pub, and they was also being affiliated to these great and awesome world records. This just shows a difference in thinking. This shows the power of thinking differently and marketing differently. Marketing in ways that don't seem obvious at first, but when you think about it, they have a great spin-off if they work. Now, because this campaign was so successful, they continued to develop more books. They continued to gather more information on what world records are out there and what ones have been beaten. And they update it every single year to the point where they was selling 50,000 books per year. They become a UK top seller. So now it's generating an income for them, as well as helping them with their branding by affiliating with these great world records. But they didn't stop there. They started to ride the wave, because what they did, they started to incorporate video. They started to challenge people to say, come and beat these world records and we will film you and create a show out of it. And that's why you got the Guinness World Records show that used to air on TV all the time, and it would literally show amazing things. If you're too young to remember that, then you must be young, because I remember that when I was a kid. So now they're adding gamification into it, which people like a bit of gamification. It just spices things up, a bit of competitiveness. But also they're creating more content, because it's not them that's creating the content. They're just capturing the content and becoming the middleman to the consumer. By affiliating yourself to these things that people are already talking about, you're making your brand top of mind. That's why a lot of people, they say Guinness Book of World Records all the time, but they didn't actually realize it was the company that started it. But the name is there, and this is why it helped their bottom line. See, the more familiar you become with your audience that you want to capture, the more trusted you are going to become. Now, this is why Guinness as a company was really creative in what they was doing, because they was curating content in an age that didn't have the internet. Now, we have the internet now, and there's still people that are struggling to innovate, even though we have more available to us than anybody else way back then. But people are still thinking the same way as everyone else, because they're just literally copy and pasting ideas. This is why I always encourage my clients to think outside the box. Sometimes when I come up with a strategy, people look at me and say, is that going to work? Really? Like, I don't see the benefit in that. Like, where's the return on investment? But when it's all said and done, when we start putting things into practice, and then they see the spin-offs of what happens and what comes forward. And sometimes it generates opportunities that you never thought of before, and sometimes I never even thought would come, but more opportunities come. Like, that's the great thing about it. That's the great thing about innovation. The serendipity of it all. It just comes to you, literally you attract it, and people start to think of you and look at you totally different. And that's what you want for your brand, because you want to be looked at as different. You don't want to be looked at as the same as everyone else. Or you're in the HR industry, you're in the designer industry, you're in the bricklaying and construction industry. Like, you don't want to be looked at the same, literally. You want to stand out. The only way that you can stand out is be outstanding by creating content that is totally innovative. Nobody would have put two and two together and thought, you know what, by doing that, that's going to propel that brand into a household name. Nobody would have thought that in the beginning. But obviously the owners of Guinness did, because they had innovative thinking. But that's why I say, always challenge your marketing team and always challenge whoever it is that you're working with within marketing with how is this going to make us different. Joe Paluzzi from Content Marketing Institute has this saying of content tilt. And this is what gives you your content tilt. Content which is slightly different in comparison to all the rest of the content that's out there for your industry. That's why I encourage people just to stop, look at the market, assess what everyone else is doing, and do something totally different. That is the only way that you need to stand out, that you can stand out. Hopefully we can take something away from Guinness and we can put it into action ourselves. And that is what I'm going to be talking about a lot more on YouTube and LinkedIn myself, because it's something that needs to be done. A lot of people are just thinking the same old, we'll just do what's always worked. And it isn't going to work because everyone else is doing it. What's the point? Really, you don't want to be different, you just want to play it safe. And I'm not personally in the game of playing it safe. I'm in the game of changing the game. Like, that is it. Like, literally, when I work with people, I look at them and assess them and I think, could this person be a game changer? If they're not a game changer and they want to play it safe, then I'm not the person for you. If you want to copy and paste marketing strategy, then you can go to any marketer for that. Like, you don't really need me. That's why I'm very selected on who I work with. Ask anyone. I actually heard a podcast from Olivia Towers today, and she was talking about when I first talked to her, she felt like she was being interviewed for me to work with her, not the other way around. And that's the powerful thing. When you know the value that you can give, like, that's how it should be. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one where we help the underdog to win.